think the thing that strikes me is how big an advantage we have over what we had 4 years ago. How little we knew when we started the LLRB. You know, we were stability and control guys, and we did a lot of stick landing kind of landings for our world. Boy, we could do all kinds of landings, but stick force per G and maybe over TV and all those things we used, none of them fit. You know, we had to start from, we didn't know anything about this. We were just, and we know so much more now than we did. So you're starting from such a high plateau that what you have left to go seems minuscule compared to what we had to face.
I agree with you, and that's what I struggle with an early start on an LLRV. You know, what for? You know, what for is the question, and that's where I think the information that you're going to prepare it to Michelle, you know, provide to Michelle will help us get at our risks, and we can things
we'll
that
be
are
able
keeping
to
us
match
up at night,
those up, I
and
think.
see are there things that an LLRV can help us with that are aligned with the things that are keeping us up at
The
night.
thing that scares me though is in your time frame, that was the third space vehicle that was designed in rapid fashion. We haven't built anything but a bunch of paper slides in a long, long time. And the one benefit I think we have with F-35 coming along is at one point there was enough competing companies that they all were seriously considering design of VTOL type systems and how they were going to integrate thrust vectoring and stability and control with different components. That maybe that'll help us, but we don't have the corporate knowledge and the generations of learning and all those, building a new vehicle once per, a new aircraft one type per year coming off the production line. We've got a staggering industry, and that kind of scares me. It may be up here, but we building real hardware we're now.
How long ago the X-35 compared to, it's still in development. It's come a long way, but development takes forever on stuff. That's why I say you need to start the RV sooner than later, because it will take a while. It's great stuff, but it's still going to take a while.
Don't underestimate that industry, but that's one reason why you guys, all you guys and gals, really need to keep your nose involved with what they're designing that you're going to stretch your budget and train with. Doesn't make any difference. You really need sometimes to be a pain in the butt. But I hired an engineer when I graduated from Purdue, but I didn't know how to spell it. Okay, and you're going to use it. Or those who follow in your footsteps are going to use it. You owe it to them to make sure that they've got what they need to get the job done, not what someone thinks they need. And I say that in all reverence to, I'm an engineer too, so I can say that. But sometimes engineers come up with great ideas, but when you put them in the cockpit, you can't reach them, you can't touch them, they don't play together, and one thing or another. Well, you guys are responsible to make sure they do. And that is so important. If there's one thing that made a difference, Neil's involvement in the LLRB determined the way we would train for the rest of all of the lunar flights. And a testimonial to the work he did and everyone else did. Everyone, think about this, everyone we sent to the moon, including Apollo 13, came home to talk about it. I'm not discounting Apollo 1, but every flight we sent to the moon came back. And that's a testimonial to that industry you're talking about. It can be done, but there's a lot of people that have to make their worth known.
Al, did you want to say something?
I just want to follow up on something you were hitting on a minute ago. Originally it was like a discriminator between whether or not you use an LLTV, but it seems to be more a discriminator between this gimbal jet concept and the other two helo concepts, and between the gimbal jet concept and the STA. It's this idea of the reset button and the fact that this gimbal jet concept like the LLTV doesn't have it, but all the other ones appear to have it. How important is that really?
Well, I use the reset button just an example. You're in a simulator, and you know, you screw up, and we screwed up, and blew up, and landed hard, and screwed up malfunctions, and one thing or another, and that's what simulators for. And you know, you do it again, and you just stop. Let's go out, have a cup of coffee, and talk to the instructor. Where did I screw up? How could I have done it better? What did I miss? What did we miss? We're a team in there. So then when I talk about the reset button, that's what I refer to. But I'll go back to something, what is it? Scorch. What you said earlier, you go out in the STA, you're planning to shoot 10 landings, right? You said a minute ago, which one's the most important, that you prepare for, that you're most focused on? It's the first one. That's your first shot. And that's what I'm trying to say. You don't have a reset button in an LLTV. You don't have a reset button in a lunar lander. That's the first landing, and it's got to be the one you focus on. And the fact that you don't have a guy who can, the safety pilot, to save your butt. The fact that you can't say, stop the world, I want to talk about this thing I just messed up on. You don't have that. You've got
3 minutes remaining. This conference is showing no activity. If you would like to continue the conference, please press.
And, I mean, it's a philosophical thing, but you brought it home to me when you said, I'm going up to make 10 landings in the STA, but man, this is the one that's going to count. The first one. That's the one you got to make happen. And the LLTV puts you in that psychological environment. I'm up here. I got to make this landing. Ain't anybody else going to make it for me?
Would that be a discriminator?
And that's where you are when you're on the moon.
Would that then be a discriminator against the sky crane and then the other helicopter and then also the STA then? Because they do have the safety pilot.
I'm not against it. All I'm saying, if you want to throw a safety pilot into the system, throw him or her in. I'd be careful. I use the word him generically. If you want to put a safety pilot in the system, put it in. If you can afford it, it makes it less risky, that's fine. All I'm saying is you're giving up a valuable part of that simulation. And it's the psychological effect of taking you one step closer by yourself. You gotta put, but without mission control, without by yourself, one step closer to the real world of landing on the moon. That's all I'm saying. That's me. Other people may disagree with that. You put a safety pilot in, fine. You lose a little, you reduce the risk, you gain safety, you spend more money, but you also lose what I think is a very valuable part of the LLT simulation. And that's having to do it.
And you could increase mission risk because you did it that way.
Pardon?
You could increase mission risk because you did it
That's
that
the
way.
point. I want to take the risk here.
Right.
Right.
I can get out of screwing up here. I can't get out of screwing up out there. It's
Okay.
One minor point. This throttleable, gimbalable engine. That might have an effect on vehicle motions in such a way that you want to somehow incorporate that in the simulation. I don't know if it will or not, but you need to know whether it will or not. So you might go on the track of finding out to what extent it might affect the simulation and how. So it could be implemented if it was
Yeah.
important to
Yeah.
do so.
Yeah.
See, in all simulations, we can freeze time. We can't freeze time in the real world. And the LLT puts you in, quote, that real world. Is that valuable? I think it is. You all may have your own opinion on it.
This appears to be a discriminator between these 3 concepts. That's why I wanted to bring that up.
Back to the
Okay.
early start. In Apollo, we got started in the LLRV, as I said before Grumman started the design. Where we screwed up was waiting too long on the training. Because I remember when it came to getting the trainers kicked off, Bill Giesel up at Bell had to cough up about $1 million to buy long leads 7 months before he ever had a contract for the trainers. That could translate to what, $20 million today? What contractor's going to do that today? So just take some lessons, get started early, because you don't want to get into
Right,
that kind
right.
of a box.
Right. Okay, that's good. Anything else? Do you, Clinton, have any wrap-up comments?
Nothing more than just expressing my great gratitude for you guys taking the time. I mean, this is exactly what we wanted to try to get out of the meeting, and likewise to you guys sitting here. It's helped immensely, I think, John, because this hits our expectation and exceeds it. So this is valuable information for us for the future, and I think we got the message. I think most of us sitting here agree with the, I don't know about the kite and the string, but absolutely with the fact that we need something, and so what we get to have fun doing is figuring out what the something is.
A in reverse, it's nice to know that you're still loved and wanted.
I don't know about the love.
You know,
Obvious to me.
And it won't be long, and there's gonna be fewer of us here. And if you waited another 5 years, you may not have as many of us to talk to. Another 10 years, probably less than that. And God knows in 20 years, we'll be looking down from somewhere, I suppose, watching what you do. And,
Looking at me down
yeah, but you'd be blabbering and slobbering and all that stuff. Seriously, to be able at least to give you our opinion, doing it what you want. Do it. We don't, other than a strong support for what you're doing. I personally don't have a dog in this fight, and I just want to see you be successful. And if what we say taints or your opinion one way or the other, use it in a manner in which you want. Like I say, from a technological point of view and from a capability that you've surrounded yourself with these kind of people, you're a winner. You can't lose. And don't think we're absolutely right. Just say, on the other hand, this is not a history of simulation. This is a history of 6 successful lunar landings. And so someone's got to say, hey, they did something right.
Right. Well, I mean, you gave us a tremendous gift in making our job easier by having done it all those years ago. And you continue to give by your willingness to interact with us as we try to redo it in this day and age, and solve the same problems with new technologies in a different time. So we're really grateful to you for taking the time to come here. And I would go so far as say loved. I would go so far. But I'm a woman, so I can.
I tell you what, if you're here in 10 years, I'll be here in 10 years.
Okay.
Because you were first.
How do you pay out on that
You
deal?
were first on the moon. All I did was follow in your footsteps, so that's the way it's going to be from here on out.
I hope Gene is absolutely right about the timing and how long they're going to be around, but I just want to share with you that out of a number of key people, we're losing them at 3 or 4 a year on this program, either Alzheimer's or death, and it's the sense of urgency on me it's very urgent to capture and get all this feedback as early as we can.